Welcome back everyone to Pinetopia, and today we are going to be starting in our temple grounds for the revised temple to agriculture, and we are going to begin by defining the basic layout where I want to divide this into 4 areas. First I want to see how feasible that is. The idea is to have a path going through here. So we'll go around like this. And what I want to do is have the path go across from here all the way down here, and then have another path from the center going across like that. Now, of course, this means that we need to find out where the center in this direction is, which I actually should be able to easily find since I have these torches here that are supposed to be dividing the boundaries. Unfortunately, this one is not there. Let me see if I can find it. Actually, it would be defined right here. Yes, that will be the center there because we have this here. That would be the second one. That would be the third set. And then, of course, that will be the endpoint. So this will be the second set, which means that going through here perfectly will mean that we have this in the way. Should I use that to my advantage, I wonder? Interesting question. Since this is supposed to be the hill where we will be placing the sanctuary, then perhaps having this a little close to the center might be good. It's not perfectly in the center, but it does straddle it. So I figure that we could go here. This will eventually then come to the hill. When we come to the hill, then we come in diagonally. So this could be a diagonal build. I've never really tried one of those, so that could be interesting to attempt. And that means that when we come here, we will then have a circle here around the middle that will just go around this right here. So how large does this circle have to be, and how far out will I have to go in order to do it? Let me do some quick calculations on the size of this hill. It looks like that the hill is about a chunk in area, maybe a little bit larger than that. And so I can have a road going straight about here. That means this part of the hill can go down. So we can get rid of that part of the hill. And this being the main hill then, we could just build this and flatten up that up a little bit. And I think we can have a good setup. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to have a road going just straight all the way across here. This could be the main way through. And this half here then is going to all be to agriculture. And then this could be the place where we have the actual worship center. All the way down here, we could have the road stop right at that pond. Good. Then over on this end, we'll probably have to fill that in a little bit, maybe smooth out the hill a little bit on that way, and have this road probably split off around here and have another road that goes around to here. This section then will be dedicated to the houses for the residents, the clergy, any servants and all of that could now be in that section down there. And I think that will be a nice general layout. So I'm sure I'm going to have all sorts of fun things interrupting what I'm doing as I go along. The first thing I'm going to do then is to start out with my path here, which is going to be 4 wide all the way across. This is our, well, maybe thoroughfare is a pretty poor name to use for a path, but it is the main path in which traffic will be traveling upon as they enter into the temple grounds. I have the main road all done, nice and clear all the way across. I have the hill now so that it fits with this. And on the other side, yes, I've taken down that other hill because I did want to have that lowered a little bit so that it doesn't take away from the height of this one. And I also filled this in a bit so it's no longer going very, very deep. I may do some more adjustments here, but I think that'll do for the time being. Now, over on this end, I do want to split this half of the area into 2 parts. So I'm going to have a second road going out in this direction. As for this direction, well, if I build another road here, it's going to go up here. Now, I could just move this hill slightly over this way so that it'll climb the hill, and that would be our temple area. But right now, I am going to create this path going down into the agricultural area, and I'm going to go all the way down here. Now this is the end, and eventually I'm either going to have a fence here as I have all the rest of them, or as I discussed in the last episode, perhaps a river going out here to act as our border. Whichever one I do, that's what I'll be doing it. So I will take this path only up to those torches and then decide later on what I want to do past there. But that'll give me an outline of where I will do. Then I just have to decide what type of farms or gardens or whatever I'll have on each side. While I wait for the grass to grow so that I could finish this path, I am going to be needing to move this because right now this is going to be farmland, and I think it'll be better to move my building materials and all this to here, which is going to be the housing quadrant. So I'll just move this. I'll take this. I'll have to be a little bit more careful with the barrel since I probably have a number of things that are in there right now. Yeah. So I want to make sure I unload a few things before I do that. I do have another barrel in here, so I'll toss a barrel in there, throw some extraneous into there, and then I could bring that barrel over, or more likely collect it. Let's see what would be a good place to put this. I could put this right here. Good. Anything here? I don't. Well, I do want the bed to be placed down so that I. Oops. There you go. Have a nice little place to sleep. Have a nice little workbench. Good. Hey, I just remembered that was the that was the open side of the barrel. We don't want to block that. I don't think it has any effect in the game, but I just want to make sure that that looks proper and all. All right, good, Good, good. We can throw that into there for now. And now I think I could move over the other barrel without any real trouble. Ah, I think I know what I need to do. This area would be for the livestock, since it's near the water and all. And that means this side then would be for the actual plant. So we'll have this side for all the plants. The other side we could have livestock, and we also have an apiary here so that we could have bees. And so, of course, I'll need to plant a number of flowers before I start actually introducing bee hives around here. But once I do, I could have bees. That way, maybe we could have that theme in, because I still, of course, want that bee theme in there, since that is the entire thing that inspired what I'm doing for this particular season, right? Because of the ties to bees and, of course, arthropods in general, and, of course, agriculture, because bees are useful in the agricultural fields. There you go. That ends this. So we've got the road nice and split now. Good. And that's that end. So now we have that main road and then this side road. The other side road, we'll decide what to do once we settle this out. But I'm going to work on this end first, and that'll give me time to think about that end. I'll be placing my fields in this quadrant. The fields will go from the end there all the way up to here where they will end. In this area, you see this is the hill that leads up to the shrine, and this here leaves room for accessing this pond over here for the fishing. And where the torches are right now is where I will be having my irrigation ditches coming down all along here to provide water. So I might as well first take care of the irrigation ditches and first create them, and then I'm also going to have to put water into them, which is going to be something I didn't consider for the moment there. Let's see, what do I have here? I have a bucket of water, and I also have an empty bucket. All right, that's good. And that means that I can start filling this rather readily, because now, boom, 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 right. And did I get that right or not? Let's see. That's the main one. All right, I think that's it. All right, there you go. And just have one of these for 4 different rows, and that will give me plenty of water for all of my crops. The idea is that I have 4 strips of land here, and that the monks who farm the land have a regular rotation in which they move the various crops throughout. Now, we really can't do a real world type crop rotation, so I've decided to use this row here, or obviously rotating from year to year, for wheat. Notice this is the grain area. So I have wheat for the first one. The second area that I have here is going to be used for pumpkins and melons. So we have pumpkins and melons in this strip right here. The third area, that is going to be used for the row crops. That would be the potatoes, the carrots, and the beets. Then finally, the final row, that is going to be used for flowers. So it is the fallow field. They just let the flowers grow, and that'll of course attract the bees. And I'll be putting an apiary around here somewhere. It's possible that I may, well, no, I don't want to put one right next to the fishing hole because that's going to be the fishing holes. So I'm going to assume a lot of people there, and you don't want the bees and the fishing folk to be interfering with each other. But I'll find a good place in which to put an apiary. Now, the next stage then for getting these fields. Really? Really? Yeah. Now, the next stage then will be to use the hoe in order to get this all the way down. Now, I'll eventually be going down all the way, but the idea is to take whatever is for that particular area. In this case, we'll be starting out with wheat and just planting it into the appropriate crop into each one. So I might as well start planting the wheat right here. Then we can finish the hoeing and get to the second area. Now, this is going to be the simplest of all the ones from the point of view of how it's done, because this is just going to be row after row of wheat. Not worried about optimization or anything like this. I am just packing in as much wheat as I can get in this particular section. For the pumpkins and melons, I'm just going to have one row of each. So I'll plant this with one and then the other row with the other. The pumpkins and melons then will then grow on either side of each of these. So I think that will be a nice way of working out on that. Let's see, let's get these here. So now we have some melons here. Then on the other side, we could have the pumpkins. And I have pumpkin seeds right over here. So nice and neat. Now for the third area. For the row crops, I'll just alternate. I'll put beets here, first and fourth, then carrots, and then potatoes. So I'll just do these one row at a time on that. Now I have fewer beets than anything else, but even if I do run out of those, it looks like I do have enough to do both rows, but even if I did run out, I'll be able to quickly have enough to plant everything. The wheat, as you can see, fell a little short, so running a little short would be nothing new there. All right, carrots. And that way I'll have a nice set of things in there, and I could then take advantage of the Minecraft farming rules that have an improvement on there. You know, I've decided to dispense with taking advantage of that with the wheat, but in that case, we'll just have quantity of wheat will be what I'll be doing on here. But here I'm just taking advantage of the little rules in there because I do want to have them all together like this. There you go. And then finally. Now, after this, we have the fourth one where we have the flowers. And for that, what I'm just going to do is start out by bone mealing them to see how many flowers I get just from a simple bone mealing. Let me first grab some bones. I don't seem to have much of a supply of bone meal, but I think I have enough in which to make some flowers on there. Let me try these 8 plus what I've got there. So I have 27 in all. Let's start out with that. I do want to reserve some of these just in case I want to go out and try to train some wolves or something like this. So it looks like I have a nice mixture of flowers here. In fact, this could probably extend out a little bit past the area, not necessarily following everything in there since that's not farmland anyway, but it's probably something that's regularly going to be growing flowers and the like. There you go. So we have some cornflowers, some of those. Oh, I think the taller grass we can ditch. I mainly just want the flowers there, and I'm hoping that'll be useful for also for the bees. There we have a nice fallow field, which I'm hoping will attract the bees once I have the apiary set up and the rest of the crops are starting to grow. And I think that concludes our agricultural section over there, at least for the crops. Now we do have this quadrant here for the livestock, but I'm going to save that for the next episode of Piney Plays Minecraft Pinetopia.